Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, back with another video, baby. All right, all right, all right. So let me get my audio and everything caught up. Give me 1 second. All right. There we go. Sorry, little technical difficulties going on. But listen, you see it on the screen. We're going to be talking about ASAP Rocky today. So, who is ASAP Rocky? ASAP Rocky is Rihanna's current boyfriend, father of her children. I am unaware at this moment in time if they are married. I do not think that they are. Uh, they just had two children together. So why am I talking about ASAP Rocky? Uh, there is a preliminary hearing going on for ASAP Rocky today. And it's something because we hadn't heard anything about this kind of hearing, or it has not made, guess, mainstream news. So we haven't heard that. So I don't want to say we haven't heard anything. So why is this important, Pam? Why are we talking about this? Because I like to shadow and watch different court hearings and things like that to see what's going on. Like I told you all before, when Lizzo case gets to moving, I'm following that case to see what's going on. But I also wanted to follow this. Now, what piqued my interest on this? Megan Cuniff, and if you don't know who Megan Cuniff is, Megan Cuniff was the court reporter in the Tory Lanez, aka Daystar Peterson. Well, that's his name, Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez case. And she is a court reporter based out of Los Angeles, and she goes into different courts and she reports on what's going on for her publication. So she tweeted today about the preliminary. This was going to be her first time going to a preliminary hearing. Uh, and so she wanted to see what was going on. So, what was the preliminary hearing about? So, it's about ASAP Rocky. Now, I don't know if you remember ASAP Rocky. I think it was last year or the year before last, but we're going to go over these articles. And that's these articles are older articles, so I'm not going to bore you with trying to just read everything, but I do want to get the gist of it. So, back in, let me get this right. Let me see if I can move it. So this was August 22. So the shooting happened in November, looks like 2021. So what happened? Uh, we're going to go over this article. This article was written by Richard Winton back in August 15, 2022. So it's going to give us a little description about what happened. It says the Los Angeles District Attorney on Monday charged ASAP Rocky with assault with a firearm in connection with a shooting in November 2021 in Hollywood. His real name, Rakeem Mayers, faces 2 counts of assault with a semi automatic firearm. Wow. With allegations of personally using a firearm. He is slated to be arraigned Wednesday, which was back in August, on downtown LA courtroom. And so, in California, if you remember from the Meg the Stallion, if you remember from the Meg the Stallion case, firearms in California, discharging firearms, that is huge. That is huge. That is major. And what happens is a lot of these, you have to have, it takes a lot to get a firearm license, and you just can't go into California, even if you have a firearm license from another state. I think that their laws are much more strict as to who can own a gun and then who can discharge a gun. And it also could be from back in the 80s from the gangs violence. Don't quote me on that, but I do know that have very strict laws. So what happened? It says prosecutors allege that the rapper pointed a semi-automatic handgun at the victim. In a subsequent confrontation between the two parties, he allegedly drew the semi automatic handgun and fired twice in the direction of the victim, according to prosecutors. It says the victim sustained minor injuries. It says Terrell Efron, a one-time associate of Mayer's known as ASAP Relli. Oh Lord, this is part of his crew. Identified himself as the victim and sued Mayer last week in a Los Angeles County Superior Court, alleging assault and battery, negligence, and emotional distress. Efron was formerly part of the ASAP Mob Hip Hop Collective formed in 2006. The lawsuit alleged that Efron and Mayer agreed to meet to resolve their differences, but after a verbal altercation, Mayer pulled a gun, and that's ASAP Rocky, pulled out a handgun and purposely pointed it in the direction of Efron and fired multiple shots. It says that he was struck by bullet projectile and fragments and required medical attention, according to the lawsuit. So he sounds like he filed a civil suit, and then once he explained what happened, uh, there were criminal charges brought against ASAP Rocky because it says here on April 20th, which would have been 2022, he was arrested after stepping off a private jet in Los Angeles International on his way back from Barbados. So I do remember that. I do remember that. But I thought it had something to do with his. You remember back when was it? Was it 2019, 2018, 2019 when ASAP Rocky was arrested in Sweden? It could have been 2020. I don't think it was 2020 because that was during the pandemic. I think it was 2019, 2018, the end of 2018 through 2019, where he was arrested in Sweden because these social media influencers were following him, and they were like really closely following him, and you can tell they wanted some smoke with him, but they understood the laws of Sweden better than ASAP Rocky did. And I remember that case because I remember thinking, ASAP Rocky, you have security with you. You should have allowed your security to handle them. You shouldn't have been put in the middle of it. So in essence, what happened was they were irritating him by following him too closely, getting all on him and everything, because they knew that once he either pushed them off or swung because they were taping, he was going to be arrested. And that's what happened. He was arrested, and then he ended up being in jail. I know it was a good it was a good it was a long time. And I think that yeah, because President Trump was president at the time, that they worked out some stuff, and I think I think it was minor, but he stayed in because he was a he was from out of the country. I think he stayed in jail maybe like 90 days to, it wasn't long. It was long enough, but it wasn't long enough. It wasn't that long, and I think that case was dismissed. And all it was is that some bloggers, some social media influencers got some hits on their YouTube page or whatever page they had to say that, ooh, this bad. What they probably would have said, ooh, he's so bad. He's a rapper. He's so this. We got him put in jail. Da 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 da. Clout chasing at its finest, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Y'all pull that information up, but I do remember that. So this happened after that. And I remember thinking, dog, he just stay in trouble. But now we understand what happened. Research, people. Just research what you're talking about. All right. So we went through that article, and I wanted to go to the next article. Let's see. This was written by Christine Samra, and this was August 24th, 2023. And so this is closer to now. And we're going to get into Megan Cuniff's tweets in a minute, but I wanted to kind of update you on what was going on. So it says here that the rapper was due in court in downtown Los Angeles for a preliminary hearing on firearm charges. The hip hop artist, whose real name is Rakim Mayers, is charged in a 2021 shooting in Hollywood. Oof, I hate when my mouse doesn't work right. The shooting started, what was it? The shooting occurred on November 6, 2021. We talked about that. That's the date. Following an argument between two acquaintances in the area of Selma and Argyle Avenues. The argument escalated and resulted in the rapper firing a semi-automatic handgun at his former friend, who sustained minor injuries, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. This is newer information that Myers ran from the scene with two other people following the shooting. Myers was arrested last year at LAX after vacationing with Rihanna, and the two have two children. The rapper has pleaded not guilty to the charges, and this goes back to that what I was just talking about in Sweden. It says in 2019, Mayer was found guilty of assault in Sweden and received a conditional sentences, meaning he did not serve any jail time. All right, so that was the end of that. And I think this last article, when was this written? This was 2022. And it's pretty much the same thing. It was just telling me that this was by People magazine. Charmaine Patterson wrote this on August 15, 2022. And it talked about the ASAP Rocky and him being charged. So, hold up, y'all. All right. I got my Naruto, Naruto. My Naruto shirt, child. My nephew bought this for me. Anyway, why is this important? So, as I was perusing Twitter, aka X, Twitter X, I was gonna say something else, but I don't want to sound. Ugh, I hate this when this happens. Every time when you, here we go. So I want to go up to the top. So if you needed to see, I'm using. Ooh, can't see that. Old school. I'm going my phone because I can't seem to. And this may be an Apple thing. I can't seem to get X on my computer. Let me try over here. I can't seem to pull it up for some reason. It just every time I go to try to pull it up, it doesn't work out. And I know they probably changed some things. Watch it make a liar out of me. Isn't it something how Twitter will make a liar out of you? Isn't it something? Oh Lord, where am I? All right, here I am. Child, it'll make a liar out of you in a minute. Hold on, I may get it. I just gotta figure out which I'm not in the right profile. Hold on, y'all. Here we go. We may be able to share after all, child. All right. Technical difficulties, technical difficulties. Let me see if I can share my screen one more again. Here we go. Here we go. So, this is her Twitter account. This is her Twitter information. These are her tweets. Megan says these are all of hers, and I want to give her credit for what she has. She says here, I'm at the criminal courthouse in downtown Los Angeles, and rapper ASAP Rocky just walked in with his legal team, including prominent lawyer George Tacopina. They're here for the preliminary hearing in Rocky's first degree assault case. And she's going to be in the courtroom as this unfolds. And the one thing I like about this is the fact that she will give us all the information and all the tweets, and she has them here. And she talked about some of the things that unfolded. So I'm not going to read every last one of them, but I do want to just bring awareness that he's in court right now for this. Uh, she described what he was wearing. And he even talked to her. He shook her hand and he talked to her. He says he loves the work. He loves the work. So clearly he knows who she is. And clearly that clearly her work in the Tory Lanez case has gotten her all this prominence. So she goes over the ASAP Rocky case and she talks about it in her information. And she says this will be her first experience in color covering an LA Superior Court a prelim. I think I'll do that better. Prelim sounds so much better. And I have no doubt it will be and she calls it, you see what she calls it, y'all. Y'all see what she calls it. Right now, everyone is waiting for the case to be assigned to the judge. Uh, says the preliminary hearing is about to be one day. Whew. She tells them where they're at. She said, in a surreal moment, I was sitting in a Judge Villar's courtroom and in walked Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez from Brown Rugnet, aka Johnny Depp's lawyers, from the defamation hearing with Johnny Depp. Okay, interesting. She don't know what case they're in there for, but that's interesting. She says that she thinks they represent a witness. They're on lunch break. And she did take this picture and she says that he talked to her, spoke to her, told her he knew who she was. Uh, talk about when they exited the courtroom. Apparently, something happened in the courtroom because she said, "This is what we're going to do." This is a quote from the judge. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take a 10-minute break. Everybody's going to come way down, and then we're going to start again. Break follows Tapina's cross-examining the man Rocky is accused of shooting, Terrell Efron. And so I guess Terrell had a few words for ASAP Rocky's lawyer. So it's going to be something in there. But I just wanted to kind of go over those tweets. But I am going to tell you that I am going to be covering this case. I'm not going to go through too much of her stuff because she does have a YouTube page. You can follow her on her YouTube page, and she does cover this. But I did wanted to let you all know that I am going to be covering this as well. We're going to be talking about what's going on with this case, and then pull you all in to see what you all are thinking about it. So I've given you the basis of what's going on. Again, this is a preliminary hearing, a prelim hearing as they go into court. You remember I told you from the first report that I've read that Terrell Efron sued him, it looks like civil court. And then from that civil court, the criminal charges happened because I guess he was suing to get his hospital bills paid and all of this kind of stuff. So we are going to continue. We're going to cover and we're going to follow this case on my channel. And tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Why is it that we hadn't heard anything? I mean, when you dating a billionaire, does anything and everything get out? Listen. That's a factor. That's a factor. Because I am quite sure these lawyers are being paid the big bucks, the biggest bucks, to make sure that he gets off on this case, or to present or to muddy the waters and muddy the evidence. But we will see. We will see. We will see. I'm going to look and see who the prosecuting attorney is. I'm going to get that information out to you and get the full names of all the people on his defense team. And we're going to follow this case because this is interesting to me, child. This is another gun related charge for another rapper. This time it's they are prosecuting whether or not that he was the one that shot his friend. All right, tell me what y'all think. I don't have it scrolling, y'all. I ran in here to do this video so quick, I didn't even put all my stuff. You see all the technical difficulties I have. I apologize. We won't have them next time. So tell me what you all think. What do you think about this case? When I went through to research it, usually there'll be like usually when you research something, to be a drum load of articles and stuff like that. Wasn't that many articles going on, and even particularly for this year, there wasn't that many articles on it compared to back in a lot of the articles that happened back the first part of 2022. There were several articles, and I think that was probably on the backs of what happened to him in Sweden. But after that, you just didn't see any articles and stuff like that. And also, you can tell that ASAP Rocky has rebranded himself since he's been uh, tied with Rihanna. You can tell that he has rebranded himself uh, to be, not the. And I don't ever think he ever was like that hood gangster or anything like that kind of rapper, but he rolled with the crew. And so I think he did a decent job of rebranding himself from being, from 2019 to here we are in 2023. So he's done a good job. Shout out to Rihanna for that. And shout out to him for maturity as well. So I think it's a combination of both. So tell me what you all think. Tell me, have you heard about this case? Do you want to hear more information about this case? Because I am going to cover this on my channel. Again, like I said before, I was going to also cover the Lizzo case when that case starts to gain traction. And I'm also covering the Jonathan Majors case as that goes to court in a couple of weeks. I'll probably be doing a video, and I have invited other YouTubers to join my channel so we can talk about that. And we just have to get the dates and the time together. But we're going to talk about that case on my channel. So we got some legal stuff going on. Again, you see it scrolling down on the screen. If you like what you see, please join my family. It only costs for you to subscribe. And once you subscribe, you'll be open to a plethora of videos that I have done. Reviewing movies and television series, and also my list of pop culture chats. And this is in that series of pop culture chat. If this series gets to be long, then I will separate it out of the pop culture chats. It's still pop culture chat so that you can easily find it in a playlist. All right. We do this every week. And I thank you all so much for all my subscribers that I have. And if again, tell a friend, tell a kin, tell your coworkers, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, child. And as always, people, bye bye.